Hello, and thank you for watching The Righteous Kitchen, a cooking and baking blog found at www.therighteouskitchen.blogspot.com. Today I am making my prize-winning Choreg. That's also an Armenian sweetbread. It's often served at Easter time. And I'm going to make the bread dough in my Zoji Rushi bread machine. All right, so it uses evaporated milk, not sweetened condensed milk. You want the thin evaporated milk. So to the pan, we're going to add the milk, eggs, all-purpose flour. You don't have to go out and buy bread flour. Scoot that around. Now I'm making the dough in the bread machine, but I will shape it after it's rested in the refrigerator overnight. This here is butter, dehydrated butter. I get that off of the internet. It's 100% pure butter that's just been dehydrated. I use that a lot in my baked goods to give an extra boost of butter flavor. Then we have salt. I always put the salt on one side, then I put the yeast to the opposite side, and I cover the yeast with the sugar, because we don't want the sugar, or we don't want the yeast getting next to the salt because it could kill the yeast. But sugar and yeast do well together, so we just do it like that. And this recipe uses 1 whole stick of butter. This is a brioche type of bread. It's got the eggs, and butter, and that sugar. I modified my grandmother's recipe. She used a lot more butter than I do. So this is a little bit healthier. And I generally will use a non-fat evaporated milk. I don't happen to have that in my cupboard today, so I'm just going with the standard evaporated milk. Okay, once this is all together, make sure that you have it in here really secure. And I am using a preset on mine. All I'm going to do is use it on the preset mixing feature. So I'm going to find that. I already have it stored. And I have it in memory 1 to mix for 25 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to slide it over back to where it goes on the counter. And then in 25 minutes, I'll take that out. In the meantime, I'm going to need to put it in a container. I'm going to put it in the container overnight for it to chill. I really like my dough to be in the refrigerator overnight. It gets a nice elastic quality to it, and it's just really super easy to work with. It kind of gets rid of all that stickiness that you get in a fresh mix of dough. I'm just going to put a few drops of oil in here, and I'm going to get a pastry brush. It doesn't take much oil. I'm just going to, kind of haphazardly put oil up the sides and on the bottom of this container. So that's all there is to it. When it comes out, I'll put it in this container with the lid. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes when the bread is ready to come out of the machine. I wanted to show you how well of a job this Zoji Rushi machine is at kneading the dough. It's almost done. It just has a few more minutes. If you have a bread machine that will mix it, but you can't turn the heat off, where it's pre-warming it while it mixes, then just keep your lid open. And then that's going to reduce some of that heat for you. I am going to make 2 batches of this because my mom requested Choreg, and she said, hey, can you just make a loaf in the bread machine? And I got to thinking, like, that's not really Choreg. That's not what I'm used to. I've never had it in the bread machine as a loaf. I think what she was really wanting was the nice braided Choreg rolls. So what I'm going to do is make 2 batches, and then I can roll them out and then take her own batch so that she'll have them. But I'm afraid 2 batches might not be enough once my kids get wind that I've made Choreg. But I'm sticking with 2 batches, and here we go. This is done. Look at this beautiful ball of dough. I didn't have to mess with kneading it. And you know, I like the bread machine because you get consistent results. I'm not here sitting and adding more flour. Oh, did I not get enough flour? And a lot of breads will go tough because you keep adding flour because you're not ever getting the right consistency. This is the right consistency. I've been making this since, I think, 1996. I have the same consistent recipe for 24 years. And like I said, this is a first prize blue ribbon winner at the Fresno Fair for the Choreg. And that's a pretty large fair. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Look at this dough. All right, it's gonna go right in here, overnight, covered. I'm gonna get the second batch in here. In a few hours, it's gonna rise, so if it starts to rise, I'm just gonna open the lid and punch it down. I might have to do that a couple of times between now and when I roll it out tomorrow morning. So that's all there is to it. And I'll go ahead here and get on my second batch. But if you ever see a Joji Rushi bread machine at a yard sale for $10, $20, pick it up. It's a great investment. I forgot to mention, you will have extra evaporated milk left. Put it in a container, a food safe container for overnight. I'm going to use this to brush the top of the Choreg, and I'm probably going to have some left over so I can make French toast or something with this. But don't waste it. Keep it, because a lot of times you're not going to know what to do with it. So again, we're going to brush the top of the Choreg, but you could use it for scrambled eggs, gravy, French toast, creamer for your coffee, hot cocoa. If you're not going to use it right away, just put it in the freezer. But don't toss it. That's wasteful. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's time to get ready to get our Choreg shaped into little buns, little braided buns. And what I do is I bake on parchment. So I'm just going to get a piece of parchment down, and then I'm going to go ahead and start shaping these. Now I've got a double batch of my dough that's been refrigerated overnight, and I'm going to get in here. I'll get some dough out. I also have some regular cooking oil. This is to oil my hands. So I'm going to have some in here where I can just get in here, dip my fingers, rub it in, because I'm not going to use any flour. You can see how nice and tacky this is. It's not going to stick to my hands. What I want to do is get a ball about the size of a cherry, get it in a circle, and then get one about twice the size of that. So one about like a walnut sized and one a cherry size. All right, so as we're going to use those 2 pieces for each braided roll. And you can kind of, you want everything, you know, looking the same. So I'm going to put the dough pieces next to each other and kind of aim for some consistency here. And just get them into a ball. And I'll get 3 of them ready. And the more you do this, see, the more you'll just start getting the right size. So looky there. By the 3rd time, I'm getting it. Okay, a little bit of oil on your hands. We're using oil instead of flour. Flour just is gonna make a big old mess. All right, we're gonna take 1 of each. The small one, we're gonna roll into a snake. You want an even snake there. You want it about 6 inches, about the size as long like a dollar bill. Okay, and then make sure even. You want everything looking nice. Now the second one is gonna be a snake about 12 inches. So, even so it looks nice. And then we're gonna take it and fold it. It's gonna look like it's on a big hill. So everything's even. We're gonna braid now just like you would braid hair. And I'm pressing this top piece so that it sticks. I'm just braiding it. And I'm not like really pulling on anything because I can pull it after, and that's gonna keep everything even. But I'm not stretching on them when I'm doing the braiding. And at the bottom, give it a little pinch, kind of even everything out, and then just put it on the baking tray. So let's do this again. We're gonna do one that's a foot long. And there's the foam. Okay, so the second one, we're doing the same thing. We've got one about a foot long, 6 inch. We're just gonna press it down at the top and just give it a simple little braid. And at the bottom, we're going to give it a little pinch. And then we're gonna put it right on our baking tray. So very simple. Trick is keep your hands oiled. So we got this one. Now we're gonna do the longer one. Fold it down. Top piece, press it, and a simple braid. Press it at the bottom. Make sure everything is together. And just put it on the baking tray. All right, I'm gonna do this whole tray. Okay, I have my first tray of Choreg rolled out, and that evaporated milk that was left over and I saved in a container, I'm just gonna lightly brush each roll. You wanna, get the whole thing covered. And at this time, after I brush, if I had sesame seeds, I would give a sprinkling of sesame seeds. I can't eat them, so I quit putting the sesame seeds on my Choreg. But if you like sesame seeds, go for it. Just, put them on there while this milk is wet. So what I'm gonna do after this, at this time, I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350. And I'm gonna cover these and let them rise. And it's not gonna take too long to get them going. Once my oven preheats up, I'll go ahead and pop these in. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna continue on with another tray and get them rolled out. Okay, I'm gonna go over this one more time. I have a piece of dough. I'm gonna show you how to roll it out. I'm working with 3 of them right now. And sometimes you have to roll the dough and then let it rest a minute. But here is our long piece of dough. It's about 12 inches. Fold it, like a mountain, like a hill. And then here's our 6-inch piece. I just put it a little bit right there. And then start braiding it. And then at the bottom, just give it a pinch. And our oven is heated. You could stretch it a little bit after you've braided it. And then lay it on the baking sheet. All right, got this. About 12 inches. It's gonna spring back a little. All right. And then here's the other. Right at the top, give it a little pinch just to secure it. And you're not doing a long braid. You only got 2 or 3 little braids in there. And then hold it at the top, hold it at the bottom, give it a little pull, and then set it a couple of 2-3 inches away on the baking tray. Here we go again. Pinch it to secure. And then at the bottom, so I'm pinching it here. I'm pinching it with my thumb at the bottom. You could even tuck it underneath. Give it a little twist, a little pull. And then right on the baking tray. And then brush them with your evaporated milk that you had left over and let them rise. Now when they're rising, you're gonna go ahead and cover them with a tea towel so that they don't dry out. So and when you're working with your dough, keep the lid on it so it doesn't dry out in between rolling and everything. So the oven has preheated to 350 and I'm gonna grab the rolls real quick that I've had preheating, or rising, I mean. So these have been just rising. I've already brushed them with the milk, and that rag was kind of hitting them, so I'm just gonna give them a quick another brush, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pop these into the oven. They're gonna bake 15 to 20 minutes, And then till they're nice and golden and puffy and beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these in there, and then I'll bring them out when they're done baking. All right, we'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, my first batch is coming out of the oven, and they have been in here 30 minutes. And here's what they look like. I'm gonna let you enjoy what they look like, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop my second batch in the oven. Notice how I'm not overcrowding the pan. Let's look at these. They, when I put them on the pan, there's plenty enough room for them to rise. This is a half sheet baking pan, and there's 12 on there. On my quarter sheet baking pan, I only put 7. So you want to give them plenty of room to rise. And look how beautiful they baked up. I really like the coloring that the evaporated milk gives, but I like that it doesn't have that eggy flavor. You know, if you would typically brush them with eggs, it gives it an eggy flavor, and I don't really like that. But there it is. These are Choreg, Fresno, California, Blue Ribbon recipe. So that's all there is to it. And this is gonna make, I think it makes about 16 of the braided rolls per recipe. I just got done baking a double batch of Choreg. That's Armenian sweet bread. It's typically served at Easter time, and I just made them into a traditional braided shape. And I've got about 16 to 17 dinner rolls per batch. And I just wanted to show you, give you a nice close-up of that. It's very delicious, and it's a Blue Ribbon recipe at our local state fair, and I am sharing it with you today. Let's see, I haven't made these in a long time. Let's see if they still taste great. Very good. Nice and light and airy. Buttery. I can't stop eating them. It's a really nice, light, buttery Armenian brioche. They're so warm. Look at that. Try this recipe. It'd be great for Thanksgiving. Look at that. So good. I can see why this one, a Blue Ribbon. Look at that. Beautiful. That was so good. Wow. All right. So delish. Guys. I haven't had one of these in a long time. Okay. The recipe, I haven't made it in a while, but it tastes just like the last time I made it. I can see why they gave me a blue ribbon on this. You guys, it's great. I hope you make it. You know, Thanksgiving is coming up. This would be a great dinner roll to serve for Thanksgiving. It is a little bit sweet. It's Armenian sweet bread, but it's great as a dinner bread. It's like a buttery sweet brioche. All right, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.